My traumatized babies and mentally ill Barbies, the dawn is breaking on the stage that holds our final destiny. And so my traumatized babies and mentally ill Barbies, don't dream it, be it, because the show must go on. And on today's episode, do you read Sutter Kane? If not, let me tell you all about it. Now, front and center, what is at the basis of this read, no matter what details we get, is you're ready. You're ready. It seems like maybe some people we have in analysis paralysis. We've got some people out here thinking like, well, I gotta have this specific way before I can do this. No, that's just usually when something like that's going on, it's like you're scared. We're scared to take an action. And so it's like, well, I got to study this more. Well, I got to get this certification. If you have to get a certification or a licensure for whatever it is that you're looking to do, then yes, you do need to get the license. You do need to get the certification. But like, if you got like 10 certifications and you're still like, well, I need to get this certification before like this one due. And it's like, no, you don't. No, you don't. Just admit that you're freaked out. Okay, that's the first step. Accepting, acknowledging and accepting the reality to change, to pass through that reality, to ultimately change it. You have to accept that you're scared to do something. And that's fine, but just acknowledge that you're scared. Don't like try and make it something else. So whatever it is, no matter what stage of whatever it is that you're attempting to do, to manifest, you are ready to start taking steps. And these don't have to be massive steps. For some of you, it can be. But for some of you, it's just start working towards the thing, okay? In a definitive, consistent way, day to day, in whatever way you can. So if it is something like, I want to be a fitness influencer, and you haven't done jack, and you're sitting there going, well, I need this sort of equipment, and I need this, and I need that. No, you don't. Or maybe you think you need a gym membership and certain clothes before you can be a fitness influencer. No, you don't. You absolutely don't. You can start walking outside. You can start doing body weight exercises in your house and filming with your phone. I know you have a phone. If you're watching this, you have to have a phone. And you start uploading that way. And you're like, well, nobody wants to see that. People want to see like hot people, da-da-da-da-da. Okay, well, you're not gonna pop out of whoever's head, is it Zeus's head, like fully formed? What you need to do is start taking the action steps and building the momentum that will bring you to that place that you are envisioning. And you can do that day to day. So maybe you don't film, like you don't want to film until you've got like a certain look or whatever. But let me tell you what people prefer to see. Rather than someone just like looking hot all the time, they prefer to see the transformation. And most people are going to be seeing you, yes, once you are at that fully transformed place, but it is more interesting. That's why, especially in like fitness stuff, weight shifting stuff, what tends to attract the most attention is the before and after. No matter what that looks like, whether somebody's recovering from restrictive like EDs, the weight gain before and after. Somebody is shifting their weight downwards, the weight loss before and after. More muscle before and after. That is what people are interested in. And so once you start building that momentum, it's going to be a certain amount of people, a smaller amount, that are going to be watching you from day one, going through that transformation day to day. And yeah, typically when you hit like something viral, it's because you are concretely showing your transformation process publicly. And that's when you tend to get that, oh my God, and the viral, and then all of the other people who haven't been with you day one show up and start going, but how did you do that? And you can tell them, well, you can go scroll back in the feed and look where I started. But typically people are lazy, okay? They're not gonna wanna do that. And so that's why you have this backlog of footage or posts or whatever. You can make a compilation video, right? As you're still posting your like day-to-day stuff. Like you can do something like a Q&A, answering people's direct questions so they feel like they've been acknowledged. And you can say like, hey, I'm also working on this larger video, but I have to do that on top of what I'm doing day to day. So it's gonna take a little bit longer. But here's what I did in the meantime. And it's always the freaking, like, here's the thing. It's always the same answers every single time, but for some reason, I don't know, like people think that they're gonna get a different answer. And so typically, yeah, like people are gonna watch you and live vicariously through you, and they're like maybe never gonna do that work themselves. Ever. People can live their whole lives that way. So what I am saying is you're ready. That template, what I just described, even if you're not being a fitness influencer, even if you're not doing something online, you can do something today and tomorrow and the next day to build yourself up to where you're looking to go, whether that's sobriety, whether that's living like a more like playboy, playgirl lifestyle, whether that is creating a marriage and a family, whether that's creating like a baseline of stability for your mental health if you're not neurotypical, or you're dealing with more extreme mental health issues. That can look like getting your finances to a place of stability. It can look like anything, but it is the same thing that you are doing each time in general to create the life of your preference. It is the same thing. It is simply acting, for the most part, day to day on that thing. What are you doing today? What are you doing today? No, you don't. Like, there is no more energy work to do. Today is the day for action if you have not taken action yet, and I'm telling you. And if it is something like taking more of a risk, the day-to-day action is, do I need an expert? Do I need a financial advisor? Do I need a lawyer? Do I need a doctor? Okay, because I cannot give you that sort of advice specifically because I'm not an expert in any of those subjects, but I can say, hey, decide if you need that, depending on what kind of moves that you're making with your life. And what I will also say, going from what is on the board already in the overview energies, is that the Tao is with you, okay? You have enough momentum behind you to start doing this thing. It is likely going to be some sort of like baby step, okay, or a small step, but you are going to start seeing pretty immediate results from whatever it is that you're doing. And I'm not saying you're going to take a baby step and you're going to get like a windfall result. No, it is going to be a result that is in accordance with the step that you take day to day. And then once that material momentum builds, then yes, you will see the material result, given enough time of acting consistently, okay? But what I'm saying is you've got an extra push behind you with whatever you're doing. And then I am not sure what we're ending with here. So wait, let me show you what I've got on the board here. Improving health and the Hierophant. This health, I don't think it's a health status. I just think that this is the Tao. These are the forces behind you. It is momentum. Like, you have the unseen momentum behind you, regardless of whatever personal momentum that you've built up already. So if you jump, something will be there to catch you and buoying you upward. It's not going to be you just like giving a whole ton of like effort for you to build something up to even get going. It's not like that. So you're ready, and the Page of Pentacles. The You're Ready was the first card that just flipped up on its own, and I was building like around it, okay? So you're ready. You're ready. And it's like the Page of Pentacles is small day-to-day action steps. This isn't the King of Pentacles, okay? We don't have maybe a ton to throw around materially, but there is enough here materially for you to start. Absolutely. And then what we're ending on here is No and the Queen of Swords. This is either you've got some bucket crabs, maybe one bucket crab in particular who wants to be like negative. If somebody's being negative on you for taking consistent practical action steps, to me, get rid of that person. All right, I don't know who they are, or at least like if that's like a family member or something, minimize your time. Don't listen to that family member. Don't let anybody speak negativity over you. That could be your own mind doing that to yourself. You have like your inner critic is a little bit too strong. That's going to create resistance that will stop you from taking the action steps. Let me think about that. That's also a matter of delivery. If there's somebody you have to address or some decision that you have to make, there's something on that where it's like, don't be too harsh on yourself. Don't be too harsh on others. Don't make like, the Queen of Swords can be like logic and head over heart. This might be an invitation to follow your heart, right? Follow the emotions and not necessarily what looks the most logical within reason, okay? Because I'm not the one, just throw it all to the wind and like burn all your ships and like la 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 la. That is so not me. I would only do that unless I had a very solid foundation on which to fall back on if I go ahead and burn those ships, okay? I don't think that's very practical advice, though it can work in certain situations. It's usually not the advice I'm going to give unless I get like a solid amount of like confirmations in the cards for someone. So let's go ahead. I've got the first round of tarot out. One of them did flip up under "you're ready," which leads me to believe someone's in analysis paralysis. But the other two aren't flipped up yet. So we're going to look at the details together. Yes, this is all Hierophant, improving health, the star. Whatever it is, it's in alignment. Okay, like this star, like let me hold this up like this. They are pouring out, like they have overflow. That's an energetic abundance. You have overflow with whatever you're doing, but for some reason, Seven of Cups, analysis paralysis maybe. I don't know what to do. I don't know what decision to make. You're gonna have to narrow to whatever this one cup is here. You're gonna have to prioritize. You're gonna have to make a list. Maybe that's what you consult an expert for. Someone who is where you want to be, that you want to get advice from, saying, well, what did you prioritize at this time? What did you do at this time? And hopefully somebody like that can help you narrow things down. You can also do that on your own, depending on what you're dealing with, because a lot of that is just like, well, I'm in overwhelm, and it's just because you're scared to make a decision. Okay, most of us have all been there. You just need to fucking decide on something and start moving. And then the other stuff is typically going to fall into place, or you're going to be pointed and navigated into different areas as you go. Okay, you don't have to have, like, when you try and spread your energy really wide, it's like, well, I got to be doing all of these things. That's typically a good way to not go anywhere. Okay, that's typically a good way to not go anywhere. So let's see what's under this No and Queen of Swords. This is almost like the only winning move is not to play. I've been getting that a lot lately. Usually the way the quote actually goes is the only winning move is not to play. In this case, well, I probably said that wrong. The only losing move is not to play. So you've got to get in the game, or you've got to not listen to people who are telling you to like not do anything and like, oh, are you sure you want to do that? And it's like, yeah, I am. That's also why you have to decide, because like once you've decided on something, other people's nonsense becomes irrelevant if it is not in line with the thing that you're looking to create. That's how you've got to think about that. If you're creating the life of your preference, is that person in line with the life of your preference? If not, then disregard them, because they're irrelevant in the creation of your life. Not that they're irrelevant as a human being, but you have to decide what you want and then not worry about other people so much. Okay, because otherwise, like, other people are coming in and they have an idea of what they want, and like they're the main character of their life, and they're gonna try and pull you in as like a little side character. Do you want to be the side character, or do you want to be the player character? Do you want to be that person's NPC, or do you want to be the player character of your own life? Decisions. The Hierophant, the Page of Wands, on all of this star stuff, this is take action. And like I said, we're all in pages for these actions, so it does not have to be some big thing, okay? It doesn't have to be some big deal. Just start, just start. That's what this is, Hierophant. This is like prioritizing. This is putting some structure on whatever it is you're creating. If you need to do that, please do. That can also be consulting an expert with that Hierophant. That can also be going to God or going to your angels. You might want to meditate a little bit if you're feeling like all chaotic, okay? All right, and then on this No. Yeah, these are people. These are people, you got somebody or some people around you that are looking to slow you the fuck down. And they might be doing it unconsciously, okay? Because most people aren't sitting there going, oh, I want to wreck that person's life. Some people do. Some people do because it is more advantageous for them, for you to be in the position that you are, because it's benefiting them. Okay, and just to go back to like the weight type of stuff or the fitness type of stuff, if you are in a way where your weight either to a lesser or greater degree, so if you're underweight, right? Underweight or overweight, it doesn't matter. If you are dealing with some sort of like ED, okay, that is extreme, and it is enough to where it has you like isolated and bedridden or whatever, and that can go either way, and you are looking to change that, guess what? All the people, all the little enablers and everything else who are benefiting from you being that way are going to try to convince you otherwise. They want you to be sick. That is a truth that you have to come through to change, to change your reality effectively. You have to understand that There are people who do not want you to be well. It benefits them for you to be unwell. And those are going to be family and very close friends. That's what it is. It's usually not a stranger. It's usually not. It is usually your family and very close friends, your spouse. Okay, so you need to look at, I don't think it's a spouse in this case. I don't know that it's family, but whoever it is, they are in your social circle. 3 of Cups, 10 of Wands, 3 of Cups, Knight of Pentacles, slow moving energy. Okay, sorry. But these are external influences who are baggage. And maybe these are people who want you to party. You're looking to clean up your boundaries around substances, or like work, play, balance, or maybe you're looking to get sober completely. There are people around you. Oh, why would you want to do that? That's so boring. Like, why would you want to live like a boring life like that? Like, we can go, let's go party, let's go drink, let's go get high, let's go do, and it's just like, let's go sleep around, let's all, no. If you want to have like a party, a little party after you create what you're looking to create, by all means, have it then. But if you want something, this is going to be easy to put aside, no matter what it is. It's not that it's going to stop you completely if you don't put it aside, but you're going from the pages to like a Knight of Pentacles, which is slow moving. It's not the Knight of Wands, it's not the Knight of Swords or the Knight of Cups, it's the Knight of Pentacles. That's a crawl. So it's not that you can't manifest with these influences around you, but you certainly won't go as quickly with this 10 of Wands in your hand. Those can also be people looking to like, well, hey, I need you to do this for me. Well, hey, I need you to do that for me. Are you someone in your family or your social circle that is the advice friend, that is the get things done friend? People are always coming to you with this, that, and the other. Well, it's time to tell those people what? No, bitch. Hold on, I can't get, no, it's my time. I am doing this for me. You need to go over there and handle that stuff. You're also going to look at people, like if you get scared, right? It's like, well, if I tell these people, no, they're not going to be my friends anymore. Well, then they're not your friends. They're not your friends. They don't have your best interest at heart. If they don't care about you doing something for yourself, that's not a friend. That is a parasite. Get rid of it, okay? Get rid of it. So that's another reason why people don't take their manifestations seriously, because they are scared to see who really cares about them and who doesn't. And for some people, who cares about you with this particular social circle and family that is around you is no one. They may have love for you, but they don't care about you. They are too selfish to do that. And yes, that will be exposed to you. And that is a hard thing to accept. But the thing is, as soon as you accept it and start moving, you can come into contact with found family, different friends who do care about you. But you cannot be scared of walking alone for a certain period of time. Perhaps this isn't usually the case, okay, from my personal experience. But you have to make peace with walking alone forever. For the rest of your life, perhaps, if you do not meet anyone compatible, because you cannot force that. You cannot force compatible relationships, no matter what those relationships look like. Family, friends, lovers. And if you try to force it, that's going to backfire on you, okay? It's going to fuck things up. So you have to be okay with not having that. You have to be fulfilled and strong enough in yourself to walk alone, at least for a time, all right? And so, and like I'm telling you, I have not seen the instance where you're totally alone forever. Like, I've not had that experience. Typically, when I've been through periods of like total aloneness, it's been to facilitate like a healing process or something that I need to like understand within myself or about the world. And it's still not like I've been totally alone. There was a very, very brief period. I want to say it was like a few months maybe, where I was for the most part without like friends or a partner, or for me, like, this isn't everybody. Like, I just can't depend on like my family for certain things. That's not everybody, but it's not like my family wasn't there, okay? But yeah, there was like a very brief window of time where it was like, whoa, there's like nobody right now. And then that quickly filled in with like other friendships and things like that. So in my experience, the alone forever is like not a thing unless you are choosing it to be. So I wouldn't catastrophize like that, but like I said, like I would also make peace with it. Like I had made peace with the fact in making the choices that I did to go, look, like this could be for the rest of your life. Are you okay with that? And for me, looking at the pros and cons, it was more of a pro for me to just be on my own for like in perpetuity, okay, than to be dealing with other stuff or like to try and rush into friendships or whatever, just to have somebody there. Like that's usually never a good idea. So if it's something like that, yeah, understand. Like you are gonna need to come to that. And that is its own sort of like initiation. Are you able to cross over that threshold? If not, well then like I wouldn't be shocked by certain results that I was getting. Okay, and that is a little bit of the be prepared to burn some ships. Like that's not something financial or whatever, but like essentially that was like, I don't consider that a major trust fall. But the thing is like, I have a different attitude towards being alone than most people. Like I prefer solitude for the most part. I think not a lot of other people do. I'm not sure. So for me, that's not too much of a sacrifice, to be honest with you. So depending on how you feel about being alone in your own space, in your own headspace and solitude, that's going to be like a bigger sacrifice than others. I would tell you though that it is worth it if what I am telling you is very, very much hitting for you. But the decision, because I'm just saying, get rid of these people. That's true if you can come to it sooner, but it's got to be real, right? You can't just be like, oh, well, I just get rid of these people. And it's sort of like, well, have you actually looked at that relationship? Okay. Because before I did make that step, there was like a significant period of time when I was going back and forth, like, is this really the right decision? Am I being honest about this? Or am I being like avoidant or something like that? Am I trying to like cut a corner? You can't eliminate a relationship from your life to cheat something or to cut a corner. If there's something that needs to be acknowledged within your existing relationships with people, then that is the decision that you need to make. But at least from what it looks like here, it's sort of like, If you notice for the more people currently that you kind of eliminate or reduce your time around and your life gets better, that's a sign, okay? I don't have any questions about this. I am gonna look in this second column that we have for what this Seven of Cups is and what this Hierophant is, because the Hierophant's been showing up, I feel, as though that is the metaphorical hand of God, right? Y'all are in analysis paralysis, or you don't know what to do. Four of Cups on that Seven of Cups. It's like you're looking at a lot of things and going, I don't know which is the right cup, which is the right idea, which is the right dream. It could be which is the right person for some of you. If you're dealing, like if you're trying to manifest a relationship and you're looking at options, that could be the case. That specific Seven of Coins, you've invested. This is almost like over-investing. It's like you sat here long enough, bitch. It's like, just do something. Do something, okay? Once you start doing something, more answers are going to present themselves as you go. It is like, essentially, a lot of manifestation is an eternal trust fall. It's an eternal, I'm taking a step and the path opens up beneath me. The path is not going to just reveal itself from A to B. The path populates as you walk it, because it's a dynamic path, it's not static. Six of Wands. I'm going to say two things about this. One is that you're going to have some kind of success here once you decide. Okay, there's some sort of success. You've invested enough. You're looking, probably all your options are good options, maybe. There is no wrong choice, perhaps. You're thinking there's a wrong choice. There's not a wrong choice. It's just the route is going to be a little bit different depending, okay? What this also is telling me is that there are certain manifestation techniques. It's like, well, if you can visualize, you need to spend some time like visualizing this like day to day. You need to live in the end. I think that can be poor advice for people, because if you're always living in the end, then you're never in the present. If what you're manifesting is always at the end, well, you're never at the end. What are you talking about? That doesn't exist. It is only in the present. So if you are living in the end has to be now. If you're thinking that it has to look a certain, like, it's a tricky thing, because it's just like, live in the end is be the end now, in real life, not in your mind. It can't only be in your mind. Visualization is fine, but if you're consistently visualizing a certain form of success at the end, it can be too much of a gap for you to close. It can put you in a place of paralysis, because you're like, but how am I ever going to get there? If I have to do all of that now, how can I possibly do that? You don't. The visualization is just like, it's just something to goose your energy, really. It's just something kind of like what I'm saying, like, look forward to. Even that statement is kind of like shit, because there's nothing you're looking forward to. It's right now. That's why it's like you get in gratitude now, and then you just do for the sake of doing. Because whatever you're visualizing, that's just a carrot, it's just a trick, it's just to get you to start going. Yes, you're gonna have some sort of result. Yes, you're gonna have some sort of success, but it's probably not gonna look exactly like what you visualize. And if you happen to be a maladaptive daydreamer, if you're always satisfied with something in the energy, you're likely not gonna create it in real life. Also because the fantasy usually never is the exact same as the reality. Sometimes things can look visually the exact same, but it's not going to feel the same. It's likely never going to feel and look the exact same way as you're visualizing it. Ever. And so if you have that expectation, you'll always just be in the infinite realms of non-resistance, which if you're fine with that, fine. But you will not have it in real life. You have to decide, is the reality worth more to you than the fantasy? The fantasy partner does not exist. The fantasy job does not exist. You can have what it is comparable in reality. Because even like when we're looking at a celebrity, right? When we look at what we conceive of as, let's go with Sabrina Carpenter, because Britney Spears is kind of dated. We have an idea of what Sabrina Carpenter's life is like based on what we see in the media. That's not real. That is satanic. And the satanic is illusory. It's not, hi Dasa. It's not that it's evil, but it can be if you let it lead you. Sabrina Carpenter looks a certain way, she's curating, or her team is curating a certain thing to be released for consumption, and that is designed to feed a certain type of dream. And it's to get you to invest in her music, and that's by design to profit off of whatever record label or whoever is managing her. It's all bait, okay? And as long as you understand that, there's no problem with indulging in it a little bit. But if you're sitting there going, Sabrina Carpenter has like a perfect life and it's A, B, C, and D, you're wrong. She's doing a lot of work. There's probably a lot of hardship that's going on the back end. Fame tends to wreck relationships. And so it's not surprising that when the fame monster is done with you and has dropped you, and so has the public, like people are just like broke and busted on the street because they didn't plan for a lean time, right? And also, you never know what's going on behind the scenes, ever. And so it's just a mistake to believe that like, oh, well, if I was like famous, like Sabrina Carpenter or Britney Spears or whoever it is, Taylor Swift, all right? All of our Aryan goddesses, okay? And you can look, because Britney Spears was the first one. Is her life really the one that you want, looking at the total package now and where she is? She has, at least now, some financial freedom to maybe start creating the life that she really wants. But damn, did she have to go through a lot, right? All right, we're looking at this Hierophant. Nine of Wands, there might be some advice that you're trying to block out here. The Fool, the Eight of Coins, and the Emperor. The Emperor is this Hierophant. To me, that's not another person. At the moment, it's just like there's a force behind you. There is something behind you, whether that's a tangible person in real life in your work environment, or whether it is simply God, the force is the energy. The universe has your back type of thing. Let me pull one more on this Emperor to see, because Hierophant Emperor, that could be no, the world, that's like forces. That's not an actual person. That's forces. Okay, so that's all we need to see here. So you just kind of need to decide and start going. Y'all have forces, okay? Now, let's look at this no Queen of Swords, whatever this shit is. I don't need to know what this for is. It's this 10 of Wands and this 3 of Cups, though I want to pull on this Queen of Swords to see whether this is maybe one influence or many, or if it's your own mind that is overloading you and like you're dealing with temptation and it's not really other people at all. Could just be you. King of Wands, well, that's a person. And King of Wands, Queen of Wands, non-gendered, wands-based royalty, that is someone who is YOLO, in the moment, let's party, let's have sex, let's do drugs, let's like eat whatever the fuck we want, let's not work out, let's like, oh no, we can have fun. It's like, it's a very carnal, but carnal not necessarily within the realm of sex and sexuality, but it's very, even though that's not the King of Pentacles, it's earthly, it's pleasure, it's also temporary when the King, Queen, royalty of Wands is not being led by vision. That is someone who's being led by desire and impulse. I'm going to pull 2 more on that person. The 10 of Wands, whatever or whoever that is, this is the person who's loading you down. And that could be just you, your inner King or Queen of Wands. Your yang is fucked up, or somebody's yang is fucked up around you and you need to lay down the law, okay? Because that's leading you astray. It's leading you into the weeds. So that could just be you dealing with temptations here with this 3 of Cups. And so if it's sort of like Ace, I don't know, I think this might be y'all. This is some of y'all. This could be someone speaking to you, I don't know. But if you're sitting there and thinking like, well, but the hose, but there are all these experiences, but this, but that, that's never gonna go away. You have to create boundaries around it, and you have to be practicing some form of self-control. Or don't, and like continue to, because like I said, it's not that you're not gonna have something, it's not that you're not ever gonna have success, but if you don't create boundaries, like don't expect spectacular results from mid-action, okay? And like that can be satisfying, or maybe, well, this is suggesting that you really want something else, but you're having a hard time with self-control. And if that's the case, just own it, because that's the first step. So if you have, even if there are other people, if there are influences in your life that you are caving to, because nobody can make you do anything. I don't care who's casting spells, I don't care who's in your ear, I don't care whatever. You are ultimately making a decision to listen to that, to have it around you. And then if you're a particular sort of coward, what you will do is go, oh, well, those people did the... You have no agency, you have no spine, you have no backbone, you are not the greatest magician of the age and perhaps the greatest magician of all time. You are nothing and you are no one. Okay? If that's where we are with that. Okay, this 10 of Wands is the Page of Cups. This is like someone's inner child, kind of like, I would rather do this. This is somebody's like inner child running there. Like, so grow up, okay? Part of successful manifestation, if you are an adult, is grow up, okay? It's not all, I don't know, rainbows and unicorns. Manifestation, yes, can be about effortlessness. It's also about discipline, responsibility, and sacrifice. And if those words scare you, then just go anesthetize yourself with some more Abraham Hicks garbage. Some of that is very useful. A lot of it is garbage. The reason why her audios tend to do so well is because a lot of how that was structured, especially when she got involved with Hay House, and especially given Jerry Hicks, he made his money off of what? MLMs. If you think that's a coincidence, it's not. He was a very effective sales and marketing person within scam shit. And I'm not saying everything that Abraham Hicks said was a scam. It's not. But the way that they formatted all of their stuff, it was designed to keep you dependent on the outflow of energy that Esther Hicks was emitting. That's why people want to addictively listen to her stuff over and over and over again. It's okay to, there is some good advice there, but if you find yourself constantly going back, understand that you are an energetic junkie and she is your supplier, along with Hay House. That's the truth. So grow up, because a lot of what was being said, Abraham Hicks is of that like boomer generation, okay? And we can see where the narcissistic, new thought nonsense of the boomer generation has led us. This is the result of that. It was very, very good for a certain sort of people, not so good for the nation now, is it? And perhaps the world, okay? Because a lot of what's going on in one country, it's not contained to that one country. America's disease is everyone's disease. Okay, and so with other countries, okay? China's disease is our disease, okay? And so you got to recognize that. A lot of what Abraham Hicks was touting was a complete childish fantasy. And it's evident because she wasn't doing everything that she was saying, at least not entirely. Do you know how much work and effort and energy it takes to constantly be going on tour like that? To constantly be putting out products, to constantly. And when Esther Hicks would speak about that, and you can find it in some of the recordings, she would speak on how she didn't want to do it, that it was Jerry's idea. Okay, so get what you want to get and what you can get, because there is useful information in that whole setup, but don't believe that that is the end-all be-all, because there is a vested interest in getting you to believe that something is law, that it has to be this way. If as above, so below, right? If we look below, is everybody following the same law? Then why would you expect everyone's following the same law above? The law is for who it's for. The laws are really more like guidelines. And I would say it's going to be outlier scenarios that you are stepping beyond the guidelines, but not everybody's following the same law. So don't get tricked. Don't get tricked, because who is telling you that something is the law? Are they selling you something? Okay. Page of Cups, Knight of Cups. Grow up. Grow up in your own energy. Grow up in your own ideas about what manifestation is and what it can be. We went from the Page of the Knight, which is good, the Chariot. That's momentum. That is talking about an evolution. And understanding that sometimes the Ten of Wands is necessary for manifestation, especially on the front end. Though that can also be like a false belief that it has to be hard, it has to hurt, you have to suffer. That's also stupid, okay? There might be times where, yeah, you're sacrificing a little bit more, you're putting a little bit more effort and work in, but no, it doesn't have to be hard. It doesn't have to be painful. It's very simple. Simple isn't easy, but typically people are creating their like own suffering in their manifestation. It's nowhere near what you might imagine. So let's get this Three of Cups. That Knight of Pentacles is back again. I don't know if this is just something that you need to take day by day. Because I mean, that is what that page, those two pages, Page of Wands and Page of Coins. It might be that you need to take it slow. I don't know. Or if it's about creating some sort of balance. I'm going to look at what the other two cards are because the Knight of Pentacles just flipped up. But it could be that you are slowing yourself down with certain things. There's something on this, so about the enabling, back to that conversation. If we're all doing it, then it's okay. And people get weird with you when you decide to do something different. Even if it's like, you're not looking at whatever's going on as something bad. It's just like, you know what, I don't really prefer this anymore. I'd like to do something else. The other people are gonna be like, well, are you saying that we're shit? Are you saying you're too good for us? This is sort of like when somebody in the group decides to do something different, it's sort of like all of a sudden we're all not doing it, so maybe it's not okay. And sometimes I'm kind of loath to say that something's not okay unless it's like something freaking disgusting and like really freaking like illegal, and it should remain illegal for like all of time, okay? But as far as lifestyles go, if somebody has a more party lifestyle, that's not necessarily bad. If somebody is getting like high all day, or they like drink to excess every day, most of society is gonna kind of look at that, depending culturally, right? They're gonna look at that and be sort of like, well, I mean, that's fairly unhealthy or whatever. But the thing is, if that's what that person wants, it's just not your preference. And so there's no need for judgment. But the thing is, like, people get weird when like one of their long-term friends or their partner decides to go, hey, that's not really my preference. I'm not like, you don't have to do what I'm doing, but I'm gonna go do this over here. They're gonna all of a sudden get weird and feel like you're judging them. And when somebody changes, right, when you change, it makes everybody like take a look at themselves, right? Everybody starts looking at the man in the mirror. And so people can get weird about that. And that's when you start getting people trying to like pull you back to where you were. Because if they can pull you back in, then they don't have to look at themselves and sit in discomfort and make a choice. People try and do a lot of things to be in denial about the choices that they're making. And, well, it wasn't really a choice. Well, I was just kind of swept along with the, but it was all these other people and like, oh, me, oh my. And it's just like, okay. So that's typically why groups can get like really vicious about certain things like that. Because they don't want to sit in discomfort. They don't want to look at themselves, right? There's just something here, right? And this is going to be your decision. I don't see anything like super detrimental here going on, but the stronger your boundaries are, the more that you're narrowing your channel of energy, the more direct that like your manifestation process is going to be. But the thing is, that might not be healthy for you. So like if I super want to be like maximize my odds of like if I wanted to be some sort of like YouTube celebrity, or like I wanted 1 million freaking followers, the most direct way to that is to look at what performs well on YouTube at the current time, do that thing for as consistently as possible, and do it multiple times a day, because the YouTube algorithm or whatever they're gonna feed you out more the more you post every single day. And so if you want to maximize that, you like prioritize your entire life in putting out like the content that you know is going to do the best and that you would enjoy. Or maybe you don't even enjoy it. If you just want followers, if you just want to do well in the algorithm, you don't even have to like believe in or enjoy what you're putting out. You just have to put it out. You have to show up every single day. And the way that you do that is by not engaging socially. You do the least amount of like anything exterior to that end. And that is the most direct path. And you still can't really like totally control that sort of like success or like people coming to you, but that's how you maximize those odds. You just invest the time and the energy into growing that thing. And you look at your analytics, or you do whatever, and then like you do kind of need to have an idea of how you would change things in the future. Because yeah, you can get a lot of people around you doing one thing consistently, but eventually you do kind of have to make a shift if you want longevity, like those are like, if we're looking at Taylor Swift, right? She's the most recent one, but Madonna did the same thing, okay? They are still pop stars, but Taylor Swift successfully like shifted, made some little transitions going from country to pop to this to that. Like she has her eras, right? But she couldn't do that without a very, very dedicated fan base beneath her. And she wasn't changing completely. She didn't really completely diverge from like kind of who she is deep down. It's just sort of a little bit of like the melodies change. Like we're getting a little less twangy, like we're going more mainstream. You can go from a niche to more mainstream as long as you're maintaining some sort of authenticity and integrity while you do so, and you already have a very solid like amount of people like under you, or creating another specific foundation. We're just using like the celebrity thing because it's like right in front of my face right now, okay? And it's typically the example that I use because it's the easiest one to like look at publicly, all right? So that's how you maximize those odds, and understand that part of that type of like transcendent sort of success that I'm talking about, you're not in control of it. And so that's the way to most efficiently achieve a particular goal or manifestation. But you need to sit there and think about what is best for your mental health, what is best for you as a person. Because success, maximizing your odds for any sort of success, that can be a very isolating experience. If you already have a marriage and children, you need to think about that. Okay, if you know that part of your life is wanting like a long-term relationship, a marriage, a family, you need to think about that as well. Like how, like, what sacrifices am I making? I don't know that any one person can truly have it all in that capacity. Usually something is being sacrificed. It's not that you can't have success and a relationship together, but it might not look like what you think it's going to look like. There's a reason why very, very successful people, if they have families, they have all sorts of like servants and like nannies and this and that. It's because you can't, in fact, spread yourself that thin. And so you would have to be okay with that. You would have to be okay with maybe like not getting married, maybe. You would need to be okay with maybe, well, if you want to get married, a certain level of success. And if that's not what you're envisioning for yourself, then do not get married. Do not invest time in growing relationships that you know aren't in the vision for your life, or at least the life that you want. And I would say you should follow that until it's to its very end, or at least until you recognize that you want something different for yourself. But the one piece of like constant advice I would give somebody is never settle. Ever. Do not settle. Do not make a choice because you believe that you can't do any better. That is the path to like suffering. And if that's why, if you're going to live a life like that, you have to be okay with walking alone, at least for a certain amount of time, or until like the exact compatible person or someone who's in line with that comes along. And no, not everybody is going to share your vision. So you've got to be real about that. So there's something about that here in these cards, negotiating something. Do you want to be Knight of Wands to your manifestation and going very, very quickly? Or do you want to be more Knight of Pentacles? We're going to take a more leisurely route. We are going to do like more partying or more like being involved with other people. Two of Coins. It's about how do you want this to look? How do you want this to go? And then take those action steps in real life. That Page of Pentacles, okay? But like, understand what you are doing in doing that. Because it's very easy to see which decisions are bringing you to the Knight of Pentacles and which decisions are bringing you to the Knight of Wands. The more encumbered you are, the more it's going to be Knight of Pentacles. The less encumbered you are, the more it's going to be Knight of Wands. So people who already have children and stuff like that, you're going to be more Knight of Pentacles. If you are married or cohabitating with someone, it's going to be more Knight of Pentacles. If you are single, doing whatever it is on your own, you will be more Knight of Wands if you are choosing that, depending on your social schedule and your familial obligations. And that's just where it's going to be. So this is fairly normal right here. But I'm sure that there's like little bits, little nuggets. Like everybody's going to be dealing with a different situation and different challenges for themselves. So there's probably something in what I've said for most of the people who I'm talking about. Little things to consider. So let's go ahead and get to our final advice outcome. Really, this is just about encouraging. This is about encouraging people and like, you're ready. It's fine. Just start going. Start going. You will likely have results that you prefer. All right, final advice outcome. This is almost sort of like, bitch, would you get up? This is like High Priestess, 7 of Coins, Justice. It's balanced. You know what you need to do. Like, do something. Do it. Okay? Like, you already know. You know. It's all balanced. It's all like whatever. You just need to go. You have some kind of foundation here, and the forces have your back on whatever it is, all right? The High Priestess, the 5 of Pentacles, you see, like, you're going to sit on it. That's what that analysis, the not moving, if you choose not to do anything, that's how you lose. If you sit in one position, just staring at the shit forever. So this is kind of like the same. It's just like, yeah, you're stressed out. So this is just like, y'all just need to start moving. Because that's another thing. If you just sit in one place looking at it forever, that also does create stress. Because you're essentially you're trying to hold back the Tao. Because you're scared. That's where that stress is coming from. It's a purely energetic thing. Because you're not acting. You are sitting when the time for sitting is over. Once you start moving, that anxiety, that 9 of Swords will alleviate. So somebody's sitting too long, you're sitting too long. Just start going. Start going. Yeah, bitch, start going. Happiness awaits you. Fulfillment awaits you. Like literally, just start going. Just start going. Just get up, start going. In whatever way you're going to do that, happiness awaits you. It is only sitting where you are right now that you have the stress. Paradoxically, you are creating the stress that you're scared of moving into. It's not over there, it's where you are right now. All right, so let's close with the Son and the Father. All right, we have 4 Jesuses today. Let's see. Jesus is very wise, all right? Jesus says, "Nothing shall by any means hurt you." I'm telling you, the forces are with y'all. You have some sort of protection around you. It is okay to move. It's okay, okay? It's not like you're gonna start moving and then like all the shit's gonna collapse. You have time. You can look at where the momentum is taking you, okay? It's all right. The hurt, like I'm telling you, you're sitting in the anxiety now, and sitting in it is what's perpetuating it. You just need to move. It's all right. Jesus also says, "I am the Alpha and the Omega, the first and the last, the beginning and the end." This is about trusting in like what's going on, like in the unseen realms or whatever, trusting in whatever has your back. It's like trust in Jesus, trust in the enlightenment, okay? Trust in the ones who have walked before you. But also this is something about when I was talking about live in the end. It's like when you visualize living in the end, right, there's a certain energy that you get from that. There's a certain feeling. Once, like the only thing that visualization is designed to do is to get you to hold that feeling and to make that feeling the dominant like energy structure within you. When you are holding that energy, when that is of your energy, right? Forget what it looks like, just the feeling. The manifestation naturally and organically springs out of that particular energetic structure. The structure feels a certain way. So the image or the picture, the only thing that's designed to do, it's a ritual. It's a ritual that's designed to put you in the structure from which that manifestation arises. That's it. So if you can induce the feeling, and like that is where, like, that's why vision boards and whatever, like it's irrelevant, but it is only relevant for as long as it takes you to make that shit your energy. Because that's when the manifestation becomes effortless, where it naturally arises. When you no longer have to have the visualization and the energy, the vision boards and all that crap around you because you don't need it. Once that energy signature is your own, once you've rearranged yourself in that way, it's gonna pop out, okay? You are going to effortlessly, for the most part, do what it is in reality that you need to do to manifest the thing. That's all. It's just a ritual. It's magic. It's getting ready to be ready. Okay, that's pretty much what like all rituals are for. That's it. It's just to get you in alignment. And so you can do it in a really complex way. You can do it in a really simple way, but you don't really need to do it either way. You can just decide if you can do that. Some people can, all right? Jesus also says, rejoice and be glad, for your reward is great in heaven. It's available to you. Okay, you can be happy now. You can be happy now because it's already here. It's already here. You just needed to, essentially what this is saying is you're the fucking alignment. It's your energy signature is fine. You're just sitting there like with your new energy signature going, but I'm not going to move though. And that's why you're creating discomfort and suffering, because your energy is different and you're trying to stay like the same in materiality. You see how that doesn't work? That's why you're in pain right now. You got to start going. Like the spirit, you've already had the move of the spirit, bitch. You got to go. You've got to go, okay? Jesus finally says, whatever you did for one of the least of these brothers and sisters of mine, you did for me. This usually means other people. It's not. This is about the microcosm and the macrocosm. Whatever you did for one of the least of these brothers and sisters in mine, so below, what you did on the microcosm, you did for me. Jesus, God, the forces, is in the macrocosm. Whatever you have done on the micro level, it is now aligned in the macro level, so you're going forward with it. That's what that is. As above, so below. Sometimes it's the reverse. As below, so above. All right? That's what like organizing your little energy structure is. So it's like, the thing is, the fractal pattern is complete and you're like going, okay, but I'm not gonna follow the thing that I just made. Like, that's weird. All right, let us close officially, as we mostly always do, with the words of the highest authority. That highest authority, of course, being Bob, our Father who art in heaven. We close with the word of Bob that is good all the time. All right, we got 4 Bobs today. Bob says, I look forward to seeing you again. Happy painting. God bless, my friend. That is about consistency, but this is like, if you're talking about like Bob, right? Bob is a metaphor for God the Father, okay? Bob was painting every day and always inviting you to paint along. Bob, God, wants to see you. They look forward to seeing what you're doing every day, if you can manage it, right? Because it's like 80-20, right? Like, you do need to take some breaks. But the universe is excited to see what you're going to do. And so are most of the other people who you are going to be creating this thing for. That's usually not in your village, right? Even Jesus said Jesus could not do miracles in his own hometown because the people did not believe in him. Bucket crabs, he had to leave, okay? Bob also says, and the more that you paint, the more that you're able to visualize. The more that you create, the more that you're going to be able to create. The more that you do, the more that you can do. The more momentum that you have, the more momentum that you're going to build. You will have it all or you will have nothing. To he who has nothing, more will be taken. To he who has it all, more will be given. But you got to do it, for the most part, every day. It's got to be some type of consistent. Bob also says, whatever makes you happy, you put it in your world. That is about, like, this is the thing. The thing that I am talking about is the thing that is going to create that endless feedback loop of fulfillment. No matter what result that you're getting from it, other than the creation of the thing itself. It doesn't matter who's watching you. It doesn't matter what money you're making, as long as the creation of that very thing fulfills you. That is the thing that you can do endlessly, and what we call something that is our passion. Your passion isn't something that you just like or something that you love. Your passion is the thing that you do, that you enjoy doing, no matter what, and it is the thing that nourishes your own energy in the doing of it. It does not deplete you. All on its own, no matter the result. Bob finally says, you have to have dark in order to show light, just like in life. So the bucket crabs, all of that is never going to go away. Why? Because contrast, as Abraham Hicks would say, which is true. You will never get rid of contrast, at least, in materiality. Like non-duality, that's like something for, the unseen realms or whatever, and you can embody a non-dualistic nature within materiality, but you will never fully get rid of what we would be describing as poverty. We can change the conditions of what poverty is, but likely it will still exist, even as we continue on evolving as a people, right? You're never gonna get rid of sadness or anger or anything like that. Those are very, very valuable emotions to feel. And they're telling you something about yourself and about your conditions and about what you've created and about the sorts of people that you're surrounding yourself with as well. So we need those things, but you do not have to permanently dwell in those things. So, my traumatized babies and mentally ill Barbies, this is reality, and I am your GM, your game master for this, the game of life. I'm also, of course, the greatest magician of the age and perhaps the greatest magician of all time. And together, you and I will perform the greatest magic trick of all time. We will reverse the polarities of the world, make America great for once, fly this boat to the moon somehow, shift the world onto the mega happy timeline, perhaps leaving it a much better place than it ever has been before. Because we are, my traumatized babies and mentally ill Barbies, crawling on the planet's face. Some insects called the human race, lost in time and lost in space. End meaning.